We live in cities we created, and I don't mean by ourselves, but I mean as an American, as a New Yorker, working, paying taxes, living in it as a citizen. We're living in cities where we're treated as second and third class citizens by foreigners. I feel that way in Florida too. Again, dudes who came here in 1960, 1960 Cubans, and 19, people who came here in the 80s are over here trying to make me feel unwelcomed in Florida as a New Yorker, but originally as a foundational Black American. I'm saying this is what New York has become. Every store owned by a foreign country. Every single store everywhere on the streets. And look at this Malcolm X. Not one thing owned by a black man is on a street named by him. I used to live over near Frederick Douglass Boulevard. And let me tell you, I used to live over there. And they got some really rich, nice condos, buildings on Frederick Douglass, man. You go inside, you look inside, only maybe if there's 200 people living in that building, maybe 10 to 15 of them are black. They're mostly rich white people. They all live in names in the buildings named after ex-slaves, and they live on blocks and drive rent to the price where all of the other people, these people who the blocks were named after, were fighting for, where they can't even live in those communities anymore. But these liberals, they have no shame. They have no hearts, man. These are ruthless, evil people. But they do it with a smile. They do it with a hug. They do it with a I care for you. Or they just go crazy and become those communists that want to burn up the city and the streets. And they think they're doing it on behalf of the people of Frederick Douglass, of Martin Luther King, of Malcolm X, of Adam Clayton Powell, and many more. But all of the, growing up, originally all of the little corner stores were mostly Puerto Ricans. And that was odd to me as well, but too young to really get what was going on because I knew they were new and I didn't understand how they automatically got control of every corner store. Or maybe they were just that ambitious. I didn't really know at that age. But then I watched that thing transition over to the Dominicans. And I'm like, whoa, these now I'm a little older. I'm able to see. Oh, this isn't necessarily ambition. This is government help. This is like the city and the federal government working together to help people. And then what put the cherry on top that convinced me is when I watched the Arab invasion, the Yemenis invasion. Now every bodega in New York is owned by a Yemen. Almost every single one from Brooklyn, Staten Island, Bronx, Manhattan, every single one. You cannot convince me that a whole nation of people who countries are third world conditions are over here just buying up every corner store in New York City at the rent that it costs. Hey, I haven't figured it out personally. But I don't understand why our politicians are comfortable with that. And here's the thing: these groups of people, we allow them to come in here, whether they're Dominicans, and then basically take up a whole neighborhood, and then elect their own representation. But keep in mind, that sounds all nice and democratic. But keep in mind, these are people who just came here 50 years ago. They don't even understand what these streets are named after, like who the people are. They don't. They're just here thinking, hey, hello, hola. Like they just here. They don't understand the fight and the struggle for each of these blocks.